Hi, ho everyone. My name is Mr. Fruit, and welcome back to the GG Over Easy podcast, episode 165. In today's episode, closer though, we discuss Rob's new TV obsession that he's a big fan of. We discuss the dumpster fire going on in the video game industry with things like Ubisoft. We discuss League of Legends and the new season and our ranked woes, as well as Rob's foray into ranked.
Did I place Iron or Challenger? Find out.
If those are the two options, I'm going to say Challenger.
I know I tell you this, but that's not.
We also talked about other things. I know we did. I can't really think of them.
We talk about some.
Sleep like schedule and
sleep schedule and stuff. Come on now, you know what?
We're all over the place.
As
that's
always,
how we do. That's how we do. So
stay tuned. We appreciate your eyes and ears being focused on this, and let's get into it.
The Oura Ring delivers accurate, personalized health insights, all from a comfortable to wear ring. During the day, their advanced sensor technology tracks heart rate, calories burned, and activity levels, and at night, it monitors body temperature trends, sleep quality, respiratory rate, and even more. You receive personalized data in the Oura app so you can work on building healthier habits and living your best life. The Oura Ring is easy to wear, water resistant, and comes in 2 styles, 5 colors to match your aesthetic. One small ring could make a world of difference in your health. I cannot wait to get mine in the mail. Seriously, I've been counting down the days to try this thing out. So what are you waiting for? You should too. Visit auraring.com/GG to find out the right ring for you and get $15 off your purchase. That's auraring.com/GG. Don't forget to use our link to save $15 on your Oura Ring. The NFL picture is locked in, and my go-to place for wildcard round action is DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sportsbook betting partner of the NFL. To kick off the road to Super Bowl 57, new customers can bet just $5 and get 200 in free bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code OVEREASY. New customers can bet $5 on an NFL and get 200 in free bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with the code OVEREASY. End the old year with a new you in clothes that'll give you the confidence to tackle those 2023 resolutions. Thanks to our sponsor, True Classic, you'll have everything you need to hit the gym, take it slow, or treat yourself to something nice. Let's get snatched in 2023. Daddies, I'm talking to you. True Classic has already helped over 2 million men look great in their tees, and now you can save big while you do so. For a limited time only, get 25% off with the code GG at trueclassic.com. So what are you waiting for? Feel comfortable in your own skin and your own clothing by going to trueclassic.com to get 25% off with the code GG. That's 25% off with the code GG, plus free shipping included on purchases over $100. New year, new me, and new tees thanks to True Classic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the GG Over Easy podcast, episode 165. Pretty sure. In today's episode, we have some hot tea, both literally and figuratively.
Are you sick, or you actually like tea?
It's the whole anti-inflammatory thing.
Oh.
So start my morning off with some tea because I'm also fasting and 0 calories. But the problem is, I think there's such things like, like the coffee poops or coffee runs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I just get that with tea. I think it's just something about it. I think it's supposed to aid digestion. But when I don't have much to poop, and then I drink this on an empty stomach, my stomach's like, well, we're trying, bro, but you ain't got much. So I'm like, so I should probably stop drinking it in the morning. But oh well, it's warm and it soothes my soul.
What is it about? I think it's caffeine that can cause. Maybe I don't know. There's something about tea and caffeine that can cause
It's only tea, or I think coffee, but for me tea, because if I take advantage in the morning, I don't gotta poop. I don't get weird runs.
Maybe it's just the way the caffeine is consumed, because green tea is probably a little less heavy on the stomach than just hard, big tea. I don't know.
Yeah. Hard and big.
I just don't like.
Unlike my poops. What?
I don't know. I just don't like eating or drinking in the morning, like anything. Like I'll drink a water. Like
I agree. I hate eating in the morning, and I don't know how to describe it, but like I'll drink water, and like and some orange juice. I'll fuck up orange juice in the morning, but like you could not get me to drink like a normal drink. You could not get me to drink like a tea, a soda.
Well,
like, and then I don't really like eating in the morning. I have to like have been awake for a couple hours before I eat. I don't know how to describe it.
100% with you. I don't like to eat in the morning. I try to avoid it. Back in high school, I used to do this thing every Friday morning where I would meet with my youth group at McDonald's at like 5:30 in the morning or some unholy amount of time because church starts at, or not church, school starts at 7 a.m. or whatever. So I'd go there, and man, every Friday at about 8 o'clock on the dot. After that, I'm fighting for my life in the toilet, man. It didn't matter what I ate. It was usually the hot cakes. Good coming in, not so good coming out. And they come out quick. Messed me up every single time. But that's the only time I would eat breakfast. But otherwise, because I know, even if I were to eat like right now, I gotta wait until like
I just
at
rather be
least
sleeping.
9 or 10.
That's kind of my thing. Is like I just wish I'd be sleeping. So I'm angry, and it's like kind of like my fuck you to the world. Like you want me to conform and eat this food? Fuck you. I'm not doing that.
This morning, tried a new schedule. Woke up at 5 today, so maybe we'll move it back an hour.
Woof.
So I feel like my dad now, like, I've been up 3.5 hours. Come on, kids. I've already done the taxes, taken out the trash.
I'm trying like 7 a.m. I'm trying to get back on my 7 a.m. grind. I was up at like 7:15 this morning.
I've learned to accept that that's just not who I am. I'm always going to be a night owl. As much as I tried to change my sleep schedule to fit, it just never happens.
I think if I was like single and like, didn't have a fiance and like, a normal schedule where it's like she goes to work, then I go to work, and then we're both like hanging out at that time, and then we go to bed at the same time. Like I would probably be a total night owl. Because when I was single, I was totally.
Fuck, I just got like a core. I said like you just hit me with a realization very early in the morning, big guy.
What is
Whenever that? I'm with my partner, I'm on their schedule no matter what.
Yeah.
But when I'm back at home, I'm definitely a night owl. Holy shit.
Yeah. So I mean, because I used to be a night owl. I used to love being up.
You know that Neil, what's his name? Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah.
The mind explosion. That was me right there. I was like, wait a minute. He's hit me with it.
I'm actually the opposite though. I've made Claire conform to me. Otherwise, she'd be night owl. But she wants to stay up, and I'm like, okay, cool, have fun. I'm going to sleep.
See, that's cool. Like no pressure, and like if you want to stay up, like stay up. And stuff. Like that's.
For me, I mean, I've just realized in the more I just operate. I know my operate now is better. I actually watched this pretty interesting video recently too. I can send it to you, Blue, because also you might find out some interesting things to try because he also dives into the fact that most night owls aren't actually night owls, but the way their circadian rhythm has lined up, they also think they hit their rhythm at about the time during night when they would, but in reality it's all natural rhythms, and so you might be able to swap and see. Really interesting stuff though. But so like I know in the morning, like my hours like 5 to 10 in the morning, I'm popping. I could solve world hunger, bro. And then about like noon to 3, I am useless. Don't talk to me. But then like 4 to 7, I'm back, baby. And then I go back down. I go to sleep, and then I wake back up.
See, I wish I could say that. I'd never have a rhythm.
Well, and the video will detail why you don't have.
This is pretty poignant because we actually have an ad this week for Aurora Ring, or so I forget how to say it. Aurora Ring.
Aurora Borealis.
Aura Ring.
Claire wears that every night.
Well, so Claire wears it every night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I did it myself too, but I wore it, and it's like you get great sleep. And then she wears it and she's like, you don't get good sleep. So she's like, I'm like, you should probably use it.
Well, we have it as an ad, and so they're sending him. So
wicked.
it hasn't like came yet in the mail, but I'm excited to try it out because I'm
It's
really
sick.
excited to get my sleep schedule fixed up.
It's cool. It details. I mean, this like again, it's an ad, but we're not getting. This isn't part of the ad or anything.
Yeah, no, it's just kind of a coincidence.
Just like a ring you wear, but it's pretty good at tracking your like. It goes much more in depth than like like an Apple Watch or some other apps might be like, oh well, you seem to rest this much, blah blah. But it looks a lot at like your oxygen levels, and then is better with that being able to track some sleep apnea stuff, but like how restless you were, what stages of sleep you got, and how long you got it, and then it can actually it can like give you a thing like, hey, based on your stuff, we suggest either like changing your schedule to this or like doing this at this point in order to hit that. Or it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it seems something like I definitely need because I mean, I'm the type of person like I'll fall asleep at a reasonable time, but at least once during the night I'll wake up and I'll either be like way too hot or way too hot. So I go
One or the other. Okay.
to the guest bedroom or like the futon downstairs because it's like
Yo,
super cold down there, or like because it's untouched. So when I get in there, I'm like just freezing, so I fall back asleep.
Do you
Because I like to be cold when I sleep.
Oh, does Sydney not? Do you not have a fan or something?
We do have a fan, but like Sydney runs really hot, so I feel like the bed just gets really hot.
Hey,
so
let's go, Sydney, fellow space heater.
Yeah, so I'm like by the time I wake up, like I'm in a drench of sweat.
Yeah, I could see. I noticed that
Drench
too
in
when
sweat.
we were at Fruit Summit because whenever I thought it was because me. I was like, "Am I snoring?" And Rob was like, "No, dude, it's not you." And then I was like, "Why does Rob keep like?" I'll go to sleep and I'll be like, "Oh, it's okay. I'm falling asleep and Rob's right here." And then I'll wake up and I'll be like, "Sag, where'd Rob go?"
You kind of sound like Sydney.
Yeah. Where did he go?
Because like Sydney will say like, "Yeah, I woke up at like 4 a.m. and woke up this morning. You were gone." Like
I was sad. I was like, "That's my couch buddy, Sag."
Where'd he go?
Yes, sir.
I've been trying to also document recently to try and figure out when I'm coming out of deep sleep so that when I wake up, I'm also just ready to get going quicker. Sometimes the problem too is I'll wake up and then I'm still kind of groggy, even though I got like 8.5 hours of sleep. And it takes me a while to get up just because I need to figure out where like 7.5 hours is that when I'm like right out of deep sleep and a good time to wake up. Currently trying to document that because it's either that or like the reason I switched to 5 a.m. Today was a couple days ago. Woke up, classic like middle of the night, like boom, like eyes wide open, because I heard Appa like throwing up or something, which is also strange because you cannot wake me if you try. Like I'm a deep sleep. I never wake up. But I think it's like some weird pseudo like parental thing in me where like it picks up on Appa.
Yeah.
And then I went from like it turns out it was 5 a.m. But I went from like I'm deep sleep to I'm wide awake. Suddenly I'm energetic. I must protect my son. And then I got him. I brought him out. That was also around when it was like -10 or whatever that day.
Oh yeah, like during the winter blast thing or whatever.
Yeah, and so that's when I brought him out. And then I don't know if I was told that story, but he was out there, and then he started whimpering while he was out in the back, which he never whimpered or whined once in the back. And it's kind of dark out there, and I can't see. Barefoot, like a foot of snow, -15 degrees. I'm like, suddenly nothing else matters, you know? It went from like, it's so cold to, I must protect my son. So I got him situated, and then I was like, man, what time is it? It's like 5:15. Like, I'll just get my day going. Awake. And it was a good day. So I'm like,
yeah,
maybe I'll try 5 a.m. But it's something, it was either that or like that weird, like literally doesn't matter what's going on, but like if suddenly I think something's wrong with my dog, like I get that like mom superpower thing they talk about strength, except for me, I'm like, nothing else matters. Suddenly I will do whatever I need to do to keep my pooper safe.
That happened a lot with Max. Like we'd be sleeping because he was older. He'd kind of throw up a lot. And I'd be sleeping, and all of a sudden, like we'd both be asleep, and then I'd hear like him gagging. I would literally be like,
Yeah, like I'm already out of the bed. Like
it's like
what
you're
do you
right
need?
though. Like nothing could wake me in that moment. Like the TV, gun sounds, or anything.
Claire could be like literally hitting me.
Yeah, and then I hear just like, and I'm like.
Game time. I'm there.
But yeah, excited. Well, good luck with your 5 a.m. I'm gonna stick to my 7 a.m. and Blue's gonna stick to his 7 p.m.
Yep.
We'll see.
What is your wake up call, Blue? Normally,
I have a pretty like hardcore rotating schedule. See, so like,
what's in the rotation right now?
I'm free as hell right now, baby. So I'm just like, I'm rotating hard. I could wake up at 5 a.m. and start my day. I could wake up at 7 p.m. and start my day. I'm in
That's
the
crazy.
current state because, so a couple of years ago, I went through this big like, I had like a massive panic attack in my sleep. So then it made it harder for me to sleep. And so for like a couple months, I was at my doctor and I was like trying out like different solutions, and I ended up getting put on new antidepressants because my anxiety was so bad. And so from there, right, my relationship with sleep has been, if I'm tired, I'm going to sleep and I'll wake up when I wake up.
that's
So,
healthy.
but the downside is definitely when I'm on my night hours, I want to get IRL things done, but I can't because my hours are like, I'm going to sleep when other people are doing their thing. So
The worst part about being a night owl is when you get hungry, you can't DoorDash because it's like 2 a.m. or like you can't like go and drive anywhere because it's super late.
Whataburger, baby.
Oh, really? 24 DoorDash?
24 hours, baby.
Gee.
Well, I
See,
It's
usually
a
don't
good thing I
DoorDash
don't have
late.
access to it.
I don't DoorDash late night anyway because I feel bad. I don't want to make the door like. Although, like to be fair, right? Like that's probably like some DoorDashers are
Yeah,
late
like
night, so they get that DoorDash money. But for me, I'm just like, if it's that late, I'll usually just drive to Whataburger. If I'm feeling like I just want like a fucking nasty, just
I want
just
something
a
to mess me
meaty.
up right now.
I want something to mess my
Aw.
intestines up. And I'll just drive to Whataburger because we have like a million of them here down in Texas, and they're 24, baby, 24 hours. So.
This food story reminds me. This week I tried to cook dinner. We had meatloaf on the schedule. Okay, I have a question for you guys. Okay,
I have an answer.
what type of setting do you guys use on the oven?
What do you mean? What type of
Heat?
setting do you use on the
What?
oven?
See, I said the same thing.
Are you saying like preheat?
Do you guys use bake or conventional bake?
Just bake?
I don't have an option. I just
Yeah.
have bake.
Okay. Apparently, conventional bake is what you're supposed to use. This is what I heard through Sydney, and then she heard it through TikTok. So,
Pardon your regularly scheduled podcast listening for this short ad break.
A healthier life starts with a deeper understanding of your body from the inside out. Your body has its own voice. You have to listen to that voice. Oura Ring is a wearable technology that lets you know what's happening to the insides and delivers personalized health insights to help you take positive steps to a healthier life. The Oura Ring delivers accurate, personalized health insights, all from a comfortable to wear ring. During the day, their advanced sensor technology tracks heart rate, calories burned, and activity levels. And at night, it monitors body temperature trends, sleep quality, respiratory rate, and even more. You receive personalized data in the Oura app so you can work on building healthier habits and living your best life. The Oura Ring is easy to wear, water resistant, and comes in 2 styles, 5 colors to match your aesthetic. One small ring could make a world of difference in your health. I cannot wait to get mine in the mail. Seriously, I've been counting down the days to try this thing out. So what are you waiting for? You should too. Visit auraring.com/GG to find out the right ring for you and get $15 off your purchase. That's auraring.com/GG. Don't forget to use our link to save $15 on your Oura Ring. The NFL picture is locked in, and my go-to place for wildcard round action is DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sportsbook betting partner of the NFL. To kick off the road to Super Bowl 57, new customers can bet just $5 and get 200 in free bets instantly. Plus, all new and existing customers can get a no-sweat bet each day of the wildcard round this weekend. Just place any NFL bet of your choice, and if it loses, you'll get a free bet back up to $10. Action so good, why bet NFL playoffs anywhere else? All right, you guys want my sneaky pick for the weekend? I'm telling you, New York Giants over the Minnesota Vikings. I'm not sure what the line is set at right now, but that is going to be my wildcard bet this weekend. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code OVEREASY. New customers can bet $5 on an NFL and get 200 in free bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with the code OVEREASY. End the old year with a new you in clothes that'll give you the confidence to tackle those 2023 resolutions. Thanks to our sponsor, True Classic, you'll have everything you need to hit the gym, take it slow, or treat yourself to something nice. Let's get snatched in 2023. Daddies, I'm talking to you. True Classic has already helped over 2 million men look great in their tees, and now you can save big while you do so. For a limited time only, get 25% off with the code GG at trueclassic.com. I don't know about you guys, but I have a really hard time with shopping. I don't really know what to buy. I never really try anything on. Thankfully, that's where True Classic came into my life. True Classic sent me some shirts that actually make me feel good with my body. They actually shape my body. They're not too big. They're not too small. They're just right. Almost all men's tees are designed to look good to certain body types. That's why True Classics teams design t-shirts to make the fellas of all sizes out there comfortable in their own clothing. Get 25% off at trueclassic.com with the code GG. That's 25% off with the code GG plus free shipping included on purchases over $100. New year, new me, and new tees thanks to trueclassic.com.
That's funny, but literally Claire will say something or come in and tell me something. I'll be like, it was a TikTok, wasn't it? She goes, yeah. Like everything she learns now, everything, it's like, that was a TikTok, wasn't it? Yeah. Or she gets something new. Where'd you get that? It was a TikTok. Taking over, man.
So I was cooking a meatloaf. We all like meatloaf here.
No.
And I heard this. You don't like meatloaf?
Hate meatloaf.
Why?
I don't care for meatloaf.
Oh, I love a good meatloaf.
You're not among
Like,
peers, but good for you.
Nice ketchup. It'll put a little cayenne pepper in there. It'll
Ew.
spin it up, and then
That's the
like,
worst
smell-
part. The ketchup.
Oh, it's
Like,
so
what are
good.
we doing over
I
here?
think I've definitely had like goated meatloaf, and I was like, this slaps. But like normal person meatloaf, or like normal conventional, like you pick it up from the grocery store and throw it in the oven meatloaf, just never hit with
in
me.
the
This
front,
was
the
made
human
from a
kind.
HelloFresh like scratch meal. So like I made it
Well,
from like scratch.
HelloFresh is not exactly the highest of dining, and you know HelloFresh is home cooking, which is great. But I feel like meatloaf for me, for it to be edible, it has to be like at like some
Yeah,
bougie restaurant that just like hand simmered that meatloaf
I'd
for
agree.
years.
Well, and
If-
the problem
if I
was
was
Sydney
ever
had been
gonna
working
try
on. Sydney had been working, and I had been working too. But my work is, a little different. Like, so I was playing League all day. So I was like, I'll cook dinner. So I go to cook it. So it's like green beans and meatloaf, and I'm not, me, I'm a green bean. So I just put enough on the plate for Sydney to heat up. So I put those in conventional bake. Okay.
Of course.
I still don't know if there's a difference between bake and conventional bake.
I've also
But-
never seen one, that has the two options.
Yeah,
That's
I've
news
never
You
to
don't
me.
had
have conventional bake on your oven.
Just
No,
bake.
I've only ever had just bake.
So I did conventional bake, and I don't know, and I put it in there for 16 minutes, and I don't know if I screwed it up, but I made hockey pucks. I made hockey puck meatloaf.
Jesus Christ!
And it was like we're like about to eat, and like I take a bite.
Yeah,
and
you
I'm,
want to
like,
go?
eating it,
You want to go play some hockey, mate?
and
Go
I
to
take a
some hockey
bite, and I'm
pucks?
like, and it's like one of those kind of dinners where it's like, okay, like this is edible, and if I was a kid and my parents made this, I probably had to eat this, because like if I don't eat this, I'm not eating dinner. But But, now that I'm adult, if it sucks ass, I'm gonna be like, let's just go get the $2 menu over at McDonald's or
Yeah.
like, this is awful. And it was literally like, okay, when you guys cook, do you guys normally overcook your meat or like try and actually get it to the point where it's like perfect and, but like you run the risk of it being a little raw?
I shoot for perfect, but if I'm ever unsure, I err on the caution of well done.
Same.
I
actually usually prefer leaning more well done anyways, because there is a fine art to doing like rare and medium.
And I don't trust myself.
And yeah, exactly. I don't trust myself with that.
Yeah, so these hockey pucks are absolute like, and what's crazy is they came out like, and like it wasn't like a nice like brownish kind of tint to
just charred black.
It was like please don't take a bite of that. And then she like tried the green beans, and the green beans were all burnt too. So like it was just a mess.
Green beans, bro? Oh, come on.
TikTok was trolling
dare
me.
you?
It means conventionally bad bake. That's what it means.
Get their asses.
Okay, so I'm gonna look it up. Conventional bake versus bake.
Okay.
Are you sure you have a pretty modern stove? I would assume that it has conventional
I'll go
bake.
look. Oh.
Okay.
I mean, maybe that's just it. It's like I haven't even bothered.
So the main difference between bake and convention bake is how heat is distributed. With convention bake, an air circulation system distributes air inside the oven cavity. With conventional oven, two heating elements heat air inside the cavity without using a fan to circulate the hot air. So that is the difference. So like there genuinely is like a difference.
That's crazy.
I don't necessarily know like what the difference is. Like
I don't understand what's the difference in food.
Yeah, like how does it like affect like my food? Like does it cook it faster or like I don't know. Does anybody in the stand chat have any like is there actual like cooks in the thing that could tell me like what the difference is? Oh, please have it.
Two settings. Bake and broil. That's it. No conventional bake.
No conventional bake or convention bake. Okay. So apparently, Christian, I just read it. The main difference between bake and convention bake is how heat is distributed. With a convention bake, an air circulation system distributes air inside the oven cavity. While with like a conventional oven, two heating elements heat air inside the cavity without the use of a fan to circulate the hot air. So it looks like one, like the air is flowing, and then the other is just like, the other just keeps the hot air just sitting there. Don't know how it affects my food though.
Apparently it makes it a hockey puck.
So someone says like, which is better? It says overall the convention oven is a great choice if you want a crisp, quick product. But if you want a dish to maintain moisture, then stick with the normal kind of bake.
Sounds like meatloaf should have been on normal.
Maybe we wanted to keep that moisture.
Well, like Sydney on the TikTok said that, like conventional.
Yeah, it's not your fault. You told me, babe.
The thing about TikTok science is it's usually like almost there, but is missing key details. And this key detail seems like, depending on what you make, you should use different bakes.
But they don't account for that.
Yeah. TikTok just wants they want the ad rev, they want the clicks, they want that e-fame. They're just like, did you know that you need to use a conventional bake?
Well, speaking of TikTok, did you hear about this crazy self-proclaimed oracle, whatever, spiritual sign reader, clairvoyant person?
Are you saying like Capricorn people that are like,
no, she's straight up
careful,
like
Taurus. Today's a tough
she
day.
uses her tarot cards and things, and like the universe speaks to her through dreams and stuff. And
tarot card, like the Valorant guy. I mean, he's a CS pro. I should have said CS pro.
Anyway, she's been going around accusing this woman of the murders of those 4 students in Idaho. Because the universe and like her tarot cards have told her this woman is the one to have
and
murdered
not the
these
guy
students.
that they caught with evidence.
Yeah, and since all of that, she's still saying they have the wrong person. She's stuck firm to it. She's like, because I watched a video on it and she's straight up. It's like writing like bad fan fiction with like some weird smut things, and it's like a teacher who knew the students or something. And long story short, the police even come out. The university even said a statement like this.
This woman is crazy.
It's not true. All this stuff, and now she's being sued for defamation.
Good. She should be.
And
Absolutely.
she's double downed. She's continuing to just. So like that's when
fuck
like
around and find out chart, you know, like.
So that's when it's like, that's TikTok for you. You got to take everything with a big old grain of salt, because one time you could be like, hey, use conventional bake. This is the real person that murdered this. Here's a life hack on. This is why
maybe I'll just go back to the. But it's funny you say that, because Sydney and I watched a documentary last night on Netflix on somebody who went viral back in the day. Let's see if you guys can call who I am, okay?
Okay.
Smash!
Oh my god.
Do you remember that, Mr. Fruit?
I do. I don't know the name though, but I remember what you're talking about.
What am I talking about?
It wasn't it? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a Mandela effect. He was beating meat, right?
No. Smash guy is the homeless hitchhiker guy who had a hatchet and saved a woman who was being attacked in 2013, and went like, remember when like back in 2013 when a viral video happened, like ain't nobody got time for that, like videos like that, and they all got like remixed, like, memed and like made remixes of. So like he was that. Yeah, he was the smash guy. So Netflix came out with like a documentary, because like apparently like 4 months later he ended up like actually killing a guy, and it was so funny. Like
smash.
Just like looking back at like what went viral in 2013, it's like we made a homeless hitchhiker who beat like technically like saved quote unquote somebody, but like also had a hatchet and hit a guy over the head with the hatchet, and then like we celebrated it like he was like some hero. It like dives into like who he actually was, and like apparently like the Keeping Up with the Kardashian producers at the time like were gonna give him his own show, so like they had to go and like find him and all this stuff, and like he signs a contract, but it's a bunch of just hieroglyphics, like it's not even a signature, it's just a bunch of like drawings and stuff, and the producers were like, yeah, like we got his signature, like let's make him like a show. And then come to find out there's probably a reason why he's homeless, because he has a bunch of mental health issues. You know, maybe we shouldn't be giving this guy a television show, and maybe we should be giving him, you know, resources to, you know, maybe like better his health, like his mind space, and then maybe try and make him famous and stuff. But it goes into like all the depths of this guy. And apparently, like 4 months later, from being on the Jimmy Kimmel show, like for like his smash, he ended up like killing a guy in New Jersey, and it's insane. Like I really recommend it on Netflix. Super, and it's like really digestible. It's like maybe like an hour long, hour and a half. I really like those kind of documentaries, because it was something that like took over the world. Like, I remember that smash, dude.
So you say took over the world though, but I don't know what you're talking about.
But like at the time, you would have like if I showed you a picture. Oh, here, let me show you.
I can remember other memes from that time. I don't remember
like
smash.
But like if I show you a picture, you go, oh, this guy.
Maybe if I see the video, it'll jog my memory. Because all I can think of from that time was Run and Tell That. Because that was
that one.
Well, that wasn't that like the We Gonna Find You. Because now I'm just thinking of the song they made.
Oh, that's
like
the
You Run and Tell That.
Yeah.
See, that's the only reason I remember that is because of the song. Yeah.
They coming up, they snatching your people up. Like there is a R word in Queens Park. He's climbing through your windows. He's snatching your people up.
Hide your kids. Hide your wife.
Because everybody out here.
See, that's maybe if I'd maybe I saw, but I didn't hear a song about it, so I don't remember. That's the only reason I remember that run and tell that thing. So should have songified it.
But on the topic of Netflix, there's also a show that I think is better than Squid Games that I think everybody should watch. And I compare it to Squid Games because it's like another kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? We're the West, they're East, like considered like Japan, Korea. Yeah, it's like an Eastern television show where you have to like watch with like subtitles and stuff, or you can watch the dub. But like, come on, man.
Yeah,
dub.
Rob, we know. Yeah,
dub
we know.
IRL. No, but like IRL dub, like
tougher.
It's different for anime. But like when it's an IRL dub and it's like,
yes.
Hey, how are you doing? Yeah. See, like that is like I can understand anime dub. Like 30% of me is like, all right, I sympathize with you. You want to be on your phone. I get it. And you don't want to like sit there.
30% of you. Can we break that down?
Yeah.
Where were you sitting there and your brain was like, all right, well, if I had to imagine how much of myself would understand somebody that would want to watch dub, it's 30%.
Yeah, about 30%. And the other 70% is because like 30%, like you do make some good points. Like sometimes I just want to watch like the show like and be on my phone at the same time because like I can't do that with anime like
Here,
sub.
let me translate for you, Mr. Fruit.
He didn't just say a part of me.
Weeb,
30%. It's just
you're going for the sub. If you're a normal human being who is not a weeb, you're going for the dub. There you go. I translated his otaku.
I'm not like Sammy. I'm not a weeb. Like
yes, you are.
No,
I prefer.
You're absolutely a weeb.
Maybe I should be a VTuber. Anyways, Alice in Borderland is like one, and it's like not even just like a visual, like, oh wow, this is like visually pleasing to watch, but like the depth of it is awesome. Now you gotta watch it, not dub, because like the first episode I had on, like I heard, "Hey brother, what are you doing?" And I was like, "What the fuck?" It's I'm trying to explain the premise of the show without being too spoilery. You know, because like I feel like you can't explain the show without being spoilery. Like I feel like you should just go into it not knowing like anything about the show.
Yeah, all you need to know is it's a play on the whole Alice in Wonderland, obviously Alice in Borderland, except these couple guys, and I believe they're in
Japan. No, they're in Tokyo.
Yeah, I thought it was Tokyo. Anyway, but yeah, they're in Tokyo, living their lives. Something happens. Suddenly, they can't find anybody. They're still in Tokyo, but everybody's gone. Trying to figure out what happened. Where are they? After a certain amount of time, still not finding anybody. Some lights start to show up in the city, point them to something. So they're like, oh, what is this? And they go and follow the lights, and that's the premise.
We'll stop.
Then they try and unravel what's going on.
But some of the best television I've watched in a while. Like it was one of those things where it was like, I'm gonna watch this before bed, and it's like an hour-long episode, and it's like maybe like 9:30.
Just one more.
And it's like 10:30. It's like, well, like I can't like stop there, and then it's like the next episode's like hour 10. It's like, oh, like
if I have to.
And then it's like, all right, well, if I start now, I'll finish it around like 11:40, and then like that's all right. Like I'll go to bed then. And then it's like the next episode ends, and it's like, all right, well, it's the last episode of season 1. Like I can't like not just finish it, and then I click on it. It's like an hour 30 long. I'm like, well, all right, well, like this looks like I'm going to bed at 2 a.m. tonight. And then it's like, and then also when I'm like reading subtitles, I don't know about you guys. Sometimes it takes a lot out of me, you know? So that's how much I liked it. I felt like I was reading a novel, and it's like, I can't put this book down. So
it's just a visual novel.
My book of the month for the 2023
for this book club
is Alice in Borderland. If you
Did you finish season 1 and season 2, or just?
I finished once I finished like season 1, I took like periodic. I did like 2 episodes maybe a day, and then it was like the last like 3 episodes, 5, 6, 7, and 8, or like the last 4, I guess, is where I was like, all right, let's just like pound this out. And then for season 2, I was like, I'm gonna finish this in a day.
Yeah, I'm still only like halfway through episode 5 of season 1 or something. Just been having trouble. Even last night, I tried to sit down and watch something, and after like 20 minutes, I just couldn't pay attention. And I've been struggling.
Well, that's what you get for when you watch things like Will Ferrell, when you pay attention to Will Ferrell and Ryan Gosling's movie. Because now the next time you watch a movie, it's like, oh,
yeah, but I'm telling you, even Alice in Borderland,
movies.
even the good stuff, it's just like right now, my brain's fried. But yeah, it is good from what I've seen, and I do want to finish it. So I'm glad to hear you enjoyed it. So
Yeah, and hopefully it doesn't have the Mr. Fruit effect where it gets canceled. But I don't think it will be.
Well, it just got season 2, and I think it's only picking up in popularity. So that's the weird thing too, is $18.99 could have had better numbers too, but they're still like, screw it, get it out of here. Although, let's actually mention that really quick. It's not out yet, but genuinely surprised. Great reception to The Last of Us. Like really good reception. Like I'm talking,
like, everybody's liking it.
There was 30 critic reviews at one point, and it was 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's somewhere like high 90s right now.
Wow.
But like, not like, oh, this is okay, but like, this is really good. So heck yeah, dude.
That's what they're saying about the movie Megan. Apparently, I think we talked about it maybe briefly last week, but they're saying that's really good. And it's like, how good can that movie be?
Now I have to go see it just to. I don't know if I'm going to go to see it in theaters, but see it just to see like, all right, what's
I
going
do want to
here?
watch the Voldemort movie, The Menu. I know that's on like HBO Max right now.
I liked it. I saw that in theaters.
Oh, you watched it?
Mm-hmm. Whenever that was, like 2 months ago, whatever. It was good. Claire didn't like it so much, but she doesn't really like the more obscure, semi-artsy. Like, it's not like super artsy. It's not like Green Knight levels of like. We're getting we're getting really just
like strap
out there
in,
with it.
Like,
but definitely not quite your typical
thriller horror genre. I don't know what you would consider that movie.
Yeah, I don't know either because it's I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, I liked it though.
Yeah, I'm looking at season 1 Last of Us, 97% Rotten Tomato. That one guy's like, I didn't like the CGI.
Yeah. I don't know the clickers.
Yeah, my remote didn't work. Like, hard to work the HBO.
So I went back to my VHS. We couldn't figure out the remote. And unfortunately,
sounds like my dad
doesn't stream on VHS. That was this you?
Is this gonna be my new Sunday show? Apparently.
I mean, I'd love for it to not suck. I'm still jaded because then Claire's like, "Oh, that's great," and I'm like, "Just wait until they mess season 2 up." I can't trust. I can't. Even now, season 1 might be good, but what about season 2?
Well, okay, let's think about this. Season 1 isn't going to be the first game, right?
Oh. No, I can't imagine. Bless your soul.
That also sounded like a sody burp, Blue. Was that a sody burp?
Or a Whataburger burp?
That was a water burp. Actually, I guess it was technically a sody burp because it was a sparkling water burp.
Carbonated.
I was gonna say I heard a lot of carbonation in that.
So
that's what my carbonation one sounded like. Come from right there.
It reminds me of a fun fact I learned yesterday.
Like facts?
Your intestines, your gut, doesn't need to be told or positioned. It just knows where to go. So let's say you're doing surgery on somebody and they're going to close you up. They can literally just shove your intestines back in, seal you up, and your gut/intestine just know where to go, and they'll just find themselves back.
Well,
it's like muscle memory.
I kind of saw that on a thing, and it was like it was a picture of like the woman with the smallest waist size, and like, how is this woman alive? First of all, but like her waist is like 18 inches around or something like that. Like it is like tiny, and apparently like people are like, what about her intestines? And somebody in the comment section, whatever, it's like your intestines just like just know like where to go. Essentially, like they don't need an exact place to be. They'll kind of just move there on their own and kind of adjust to what your body has. I was like, that's really weird.
The human body's pretty crazy. Yeah, I guess I don't know what you're talking about. Last of Us or something?
Yeah, you're talking about The Last of Us and that they're going to ruin season 2. And then I was about to say, there's no way that the first season of Last of Us is the first game.
Oh.
Like, I would assume.
No, I don't think so.
I would assume
they're gonna milk
spoilers for the game. I mean, the game's been out for years.
Well, no, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind then.
I've
You've
actually
never played the game?
I have only gotten about the same way.
Kick you
like 3 times.
I'm going to kick you in the face.
And what would that be? Just to kind of know like what part you were
when they show up, find a dude in the garage in that first city, you're trying to save. He gets you like a gun you can finally work with or whatever. And then that's pretty much it. And I've gotten that far like 3 different times. Because the first time when the game first came out, I didn't have a PlayStation. And then it came out.
It was my first PlayStation game.
It came out, or I think Claire and I, we were gonna do I was gonna play it, and she was gonna watch, and we started it, but then they announced it the remastered. So we're like, okay, well we might as well wait for the remastered. Then the remastered came out. And then we did
PS4.
Well, PS5. I think I was playing on PS4 or whatever.
Oh, because it came out originally PS3, right?
Yeah, the first one, and I never had a PS3. So then we set it up. Well, and the funny thing too is we set it up on the TV so she can watch and hear, but it makes me nauseous. To play on a TV. So then we also stopped again.
Yeah, it's 60 frames, dude. Makes me sick too.
Yeah. So now I want to, but then I heard the show, and then I was like, well, I guess I'll wait to watch the show, and then it'll be fun because I don't know what's gonna happen, and then I'll play the game.
I feel like you would probably, for the way you consume media, right? Because you're not really a cinematic enjoyer. You're the type of person who, if it's gonna be cinematic, you got to be playing it too. And so I feel like Last of Us in that medium will actually work really well for you. And I mean, that's kind of the whole point of the show, right? So, I
mean, yeah, I'm sure that's what they're also banking on. People who haven't played it play it and go, oh, this is pretty cool. Let me go play it myself. And then they're actually just going to go. Because for me, that was God of War, the first one. Single player games sometimes struggle to pull me in. But when it's a cinematic story with gameplay, God of War, it pulls me in. The problem is, I think that's also just the other problem too, is I have a hard time starting things because I've talked about this when, I don't know, on the podcast, but my mind, if I start something, I have to finish it. My brain can't just be like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do a little bit, and then we're going to come back. So that's why for me also picking up single player games is tough because it's not a matter of when I think of it, I'm like, okay, all I'm going to do from now until playing that, aside from things I have to do, is play that, and that's a big commitment, and I can't commit. I have a problem just starting things like that. But I know, if I play it, and when I was playing it, I was like, this is fun. So it's just a matter of when I actually finally sit down and commit to it. Maybe later down the line, do it as stream Let's Play thing. Maybe they'll make it easier for me to commit.
But Blue. It's one of my favorite gaming experiences that I had.
Yeah.
I really loved
Top
that game.
3 games all time.
And it was one of those games where I picked one of the hardest difficulties. I didn't pick the hardest, but I picked the second one. And it was really hard, but it was one of where it was all right, I have to play this kind of perfectly, and it was just so much fun. I loved that game. I never played the second one because I read the leaks and all that stuff, so I was super jaded. I hope the show goes in a different direction than that, but I doubt it.
I feel like I need to play it and go through the second one too, especially not knowing it, just to see what all the for me, I feel like this is me, but Joey in Game of Thrones, where he's just heard people complain about it. He never watched it during the time, and in this case, I never played it, and I just know people hate it. So what would it be like if I come back around years later, without knowing anything, and then go like, oh, I wonder if
Well, a
I'll
lot
be
of
like,
peop-
yeah, that was garbage, or like, nah, no, it was all right.
A lot of people actually like The Last of Us 2 though, which is like me. I think
Mm.
Blue and I are like in the minority actually, believe it or not.
No,
Like,
we're definitely not.
I mean, for like Metacritic giving it like a 93%, and that's like all the reviews kind of.
Yeah, that's a bunch of Silicon Valley bros patting themselves on the back. Nobody actually. It's all about review scores, baby. It's all about user reviews, and most
Hey.
user reviews are normal. Like they pretty much agree with the critics. Last of Us Part 2,
What
the
is your
worst
user
sequel of all
score?
time. I'll
Uh,
say it. I'll say it.
I have user reviews here. Positive 38,000, mixed 4,500, negative 36,000.
Yeah.
So and then
It's very divisive.
here's a score from BMW underscore M5 0. This game was a big turd. They fucked us with this pathetic story. Goodbye, Naughty Dog, forever.
Get their asses, bro. Dude, it's like I don't know.
That is
Every
just way
every
to stick it to the
single-
man, bro.
every
Got 'em.
single part of that game is weird Silicon Valley bro interpretation of a deep story. And the first one was like so personal and human, and the second one just feels so synthetic, and it's just trashed here.
And then you have like a Silicon Valley review that through its destined to please those who build Ellie and Joel up in a fallible as an obsession and prevalence. I don't know what that word is. Tribalism and the terrible cycle of violence that exists at the center of what's left of the human existence in the world. It's like, Jesus, dude, can you just like say if the game is good or not? Like, relax.
No,
I
I'd
don't
like
know,
to
like
think
this,
they're in a board meeting and they've got BMW M50's review up like, we lost him, guys. We got to turn this around. We need to get him back. Specifically, BMW M50. It's a turd. He said it's a turd.
Yeah, it's so funny.
I don't know. I feel like the game that I feel like God of War Ragnarok, and to an extent the original God of War, were like, it was like, babe, babe, I want McDonald's. We have McDonald's at home. God of War, McDonald's. The Last of Us 2 at home. That's what. Dude,
I will
it
say
was
I am thankful. Like, part of me was like, man, I wish they made a third or something, just because the game's so good. But I'm happy that it's done, the story's done, and it's good. And I don't have to worry. I don't have, like Last of Us, I don't have to be like, man, they screwed the pooch with Ragnarok, or like, oh, it was so good, and then the third came out and it all went downhill. I can just be like, hey, they stopped, they knew when to call it, it was good. I'm glad I don't have to be here and be like, this freaking the sequel.
That's
Play God of War. Ragnarok doesn't exist. Don't worry about it. Just don't look at it.
Yeah,
The first
exactly.
one.
But like, nobody asked for part 2. Like the first
I guess
Last
that's
of Us,
true.
the first Last of Us, it was like done. I was like, that's it,
That's
and
a
that's a
good point.
perfect ending for me. Like perfect ending, we're done. So when they announced part 2, I was like, why?
Oh,
Like I wasn't like with Ragnarok. I wasn't like, why are we getting another Ragnarok? I was like, clearly like
money.
that's exactly like I'm waiting for another Ragnarok. They're leading me on. I want more. But like Last was part, it was just such extreme. It was just like a singular story that got done. It was over.
That's a good
And then
point.
they were like, you know what would be crazy is if we made another Last one. It's like, bro, no one wanted that. Leave me alone,
Bruh.
please. And we never got Last of Us Part 2, so you know we'll never
So
know.
we'll never know. Yeah.
We'll never know.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's a good point of like the difference between also God of War was God of War 1 was made with the entire story in mind, and they're like,
Yeah.
this is half the story. We'll tell the other half another. Whereas, yeah, Last of Us is, hey, it'd be different if Last of Us was always planning to have Last of Us 2, and half the story was the first one, and half was the second one. Part of it is just they're like, wow, that did better than we thought, and also money. And so, who knows? At the end of the day, I'm hopeful for this TV show, because I guess it doesn't suck, so that's a good start. Oh, and then that reminds me, the God of War show. Apparently, there's rumors or something. They're looking at Dave Bautista to be Kratos. I'ma just look. This feels like the Ghost of Tsushima movie they're gonna make.
Me, Dwayne.
No. Oh yeah, if they're like The
Please
Rock's
do
gonna,
not.
I'd be like,
Hey, I love The Rock, but I don't want him to rockify Kratos.
Yeah, I would just be so sad. It's
I
like
feel like Batista could do it. I'm gonna be honest.
no, but here's the thing. Just like with Ghosts coming out, you have the actor. We have Kratos. It's
I see what you're
literally
saying.
Christopher Judge. Yeah, like this makes way more sense than like a voice act. Like he's
Then like
mostly
Mario.
modeled off of him. It's his voice. He is Kratos right now, and like same with like Jin Sakai in Ghost of Tsushima, modeled directly after his actor. It's not like, hey, well, we get the voice. No, like that is Jin Sakai.
That's the guy.
Like, yeah, so it would make way more sense. Like, I doubt they'll do it because just like that, and Mario, it's more about like a normie name appeal to draw people in. Be like, hey, God of War, you maybe heard of it. We got Dave Bautista, and people are like, I know that dude. Whereas if you're like, we have Christopher Judge, I'd be popping off. But then normies are like, who? Who's
yeah,
that?
that's the trade off.
Yeah,
So like Kratos,
So.
Chris Judge, or Tom Cruise Kratos.
I mean, I'm
He'd
hoping they
be
got the
badass.
budget
Like,
for Tom.
He'd be
Let's go.
He'd be doing all his own shit too.
God.
He would. That's true. He would be.
That reminds me of when they cast him as Jack Reacher or whatever. Or no, I think even the guy in
The Last Samurai.
no in Mission Impossible, his character. No, not Ethan. Yeah, I think it's Jack Reacher.
Ethan Hawke.
No, he did some Tom
No.
Clancy movies. But the problem was Jack Reacher as a character is like ex-Navy SEAL, like 6'5", huge, foreboding.
He was very
And there's Tom Cruise.
weird casting. And don't get
And
me
he did
wrong,
fine,
Tom
but-
Cruise did a good job, but it was very like versus like you watch Jack Reacher now, and it's like from the source material, that's Jack Reacher. Like
the point of the character was like he walks in a room and he's so physically big and scary, like he commands a
imposing.
presence. And then you have Tom Cruise, who walks in and has more of like that secret agent feel, not like
hey
Yeah.
guys, I'm Tom Cruise.
yeah.
You,
So I
know,
did
you,
fine.
5'6".
you were watching John Krasinski's like action show, right? Did you finish it?
Jack Ryan? Yeah, we did.
Do you like it enough to recommend it? Or is
It's
it kind
good.
of just if you've ever seen a spy action kind of show, you've seen them all?
It was I like it. Like I'll keep watching it. I don't know. Like I'm not crazy about it, but I like.
Definitely not my favorite action spy show thriller.
Yeah.
You know,
I like the
good.
actor. The story's all right, and so for me, it just serves that purpose of like watching it.
I would definitely say it's one of those shows the character and the actor carry it a little more than the actual content of the show.
This, I will say, this season's story was a little more interesting to me than I think. What was it like? Maybe season 2. Season 1 was all right. That's what hooked me. Season 2 was okay. I think I enjoyed the overall arc of this one a little more. But like that was the thing too. Like once I started Jack Ryan, you're like, you got to watch this. You got to watch this. I can't. I have to finish Jack Ryan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I gotta
like-
finish.
Like
what I'm
my
on
mind
right
is just like it. I don't have a choice. I've started it. It needs to be finished, which is why like I try and start some other things. And it's so hard because I have to just commit.
now. Also, today's Friday the 13th, Monka. Well,
Let's
I mean,
go.
Well, I
don't know
mean,
what
I'm not a
time-
super
I've never seen a 113.
true that.
Yesterday was 112. Punk.
It was 112 yesterday. But now this is probably the most unlucky day of the year, 113, and it's a Friday the 13th sketch. Stay inside.
Don't go anywhere. Speaking of spooky, how's the ranked experience going for you in League of Legends, Rob? Rob's taking his foray.
So I play.
Despite my recommendation,
Yeah, despite you saying
to
don't
wait
do
it
it,
out.
I did.
I respect it though. Balls
Well,
deep.
what's weird is like the first games of ranked I did. I don't think it needs to figure out what my MMR is, so it just throws me in the game for gold 4s, and got absolutely Flame Horizon rolled. Which basically Flame Horizon, for those that don't know, is basically you lose your lane by at least 100 creep score. which
is a lot.
Which is a lot. What? How many kills is that if you break it down? Like 6 or something like that?
Yeah, 6 or 7, something like that.
Yeah, so first game, I'm playing like a Fiora and just get absolutely demolished. I made the mistake, and of course, the game that you join in, dude. I let Alawi through my ban, and I'm not kidding you, dude. That was I put it on my Fia, who passed away last year. In my time of playing League, you will never see Alawi in my games. I will ban that character every time, and that's on Fia.
I will say I watched most of that laning phase. And you said you like Corey's approach because he's brutally honest, right?
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen someone play laning phase worse. You did absolutely everything possibly wrong, and you were so tilted. You made it so much worse.
Oh,
you like literally
so
started
mad.
by like you walk up the river. She hits you once while you go in a lane. You're like, here we go, and it's like a minute into the game, and you're already tilted, and so. Yeah, like that's the thing is, you would get hit by a skill shot from Alawi, and you're like, stupid as
That
what
is
is
not
this
a skill
character?
shot. That is so long, like it reaches to the ends of the
Rob,
board.
I don't know how to tell you this, but if any champion hits every single thing, they're pretty good. Because when you don't dodge, you didn't dodge a single tentacle. It's so telegraphed. When you like run out of your little thing, and you're like, oh, this is so dumb, and then you have to kill the tentacles.
Yes.
The tentacles spawn. Then it shows you where it's going to go, and then it hits. You didn't dodge a single one of those. That's like you hit him with the Prometheus. Like all you have to do is go left or right, and you walk like, and so you're just getting poked. You're in Tilt City. The other thing too is that skill shot that you hate so much can get body blocked by a minion. You never even sat behind minions. You just like. I was sitting here like, this is painful. I can't tell him anything because he's so tilted. He's not going to hear anything. But it was painful. So is Alawi frustrating? She can be. But what was frustrating was like you ignored and forgot everything.
Gotta be the worst character ever.
And I was
gotta be the most infuriating. Like everyone say, oh man, Yumi, no skill, no like absolute anything.
But
Alawi's just up there. Alawi is a top lane Yumi.
That's the slippery slope, though, is instead of going, hey, what could I have gone different? Because then I kept watching, and everything that was happening, like, this is such a dumb champion. What is this? What is that? Instead of going, what could I do different? What am I doing wrong? And instead of objectively looking at, frankly, the long laundry list of things you could have changed, you go, it's Alawi, dude. So dumb. Just go next game. That's when you got to go, skirt. What can I do?
See, but now I don't need to know what to do because I'm just gonna ban her every time. So it doesn't. Do I need to learn what to do better? Because I'm literally just gonna ban her every time. I don't care if Mord gets through now because I'd rather play against a stacked Mord or a stacked Set or a stacked Teemo. I'd rather go against a Teemo with 2 million legacy mastery points or whatever than an Alawi who's just trying Alawi for the first time. I mean that.
Well, speaking of Teemo, I've played 2 ranked games this season. It's all the only games I've played.
Yeah, I saw you were queuing, and I was trying to give you my suggestions. Did you take them?
No, but I took them into consideration. Thank you. First game I'm playing with Corey. We have a support who's like, I'm gonna go Lux, like calls out Lux. Then the enemy bans Lux. I don't know whoever bans Lux. But so then he hovers Teemo as support.
Teemo support.
Which whatever. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. Could be something. I don't know. Like clearly he wanted to play Lux.
Positive thoughts.
Yeah, I'm like, clearly they took Lux, but whatever, we're fine. Load into the game, and that's when I realized his name is Trust My Pick. So now I'm like, this is a little sus. Looked at his like summoner profile, whatever. I'm like, this isn't looking good.
You audit him?
Yeah, I'm like, this isn't looking good. And Corey's like, dude, it's fine. Don't do research, man. Like, we're gonna be fine,
baby. Looking forward.
Teemo ended the game 0-19. Yeah. And you want to know you want to know the best part?
You got to be inting at that point.
I report him. I block him. We queue.
Oh no!
Guess who our support is game 2?
So you do okay. This
the
is
same Teemo.
I bitched about this yesterday. How is there no avoid system in League? That is unbelievable.
Well, that's why I
to
like
me.
blocked and reported.
Unreal.
I'm like, maybe that'll help.
Yeah, right. That is unreal. That league doesn't have an avoid system. That is crazy to me. I don't know. There must be some reasoning behind that. Which is like we just don't want people
They're
to like
punishing
pick.
me.
I don't know, dude. That is unreal. Okay, but does he get Lux this time?
No, he goes Teemo. This time Lux is open and he still just goes Teemo. And he notices Corey. He's like, "Hey, Shamira, let's do this again." And Corey's like, "Oh God."
Oh, so Corey's the ADC.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to Teemo's credit, he actually got some kills this game. And
But
the
you
thing
don't
is,
want kills as a support, though, right? Don't you want your AD carry to get the kills?
well, let's
In
not
early
also
game.
let's also not talk about the fact that this Teemo support was going into my jungle taking my blue buff.
Oh.
Even when I'm pinging it off, and he goes, I'm Teemo support, dude. I'm like, yeah, and I'm jungler who's trying to carry. That was the Teemo. He like game 1 or the first time we got when he went 0-19, his Teemo high elo Teemo strat.
High elo.
Yeah, is walk in the middle of the lane, of mid lane, before anything happens, and then he goes invisible, as Teemo does. And he just sits there until laning phase starts. The enemy mid laner shows up. He waits like 20 seconds, and then pops out and tries to help the other mid laner kill him. Game 1, we're up against a Lissandra with like 3 million mastery points, which I've never seen. Like, I can't even imagine how much that is.
I'll kind of put it in comparison to people that don't know. I played Mundo. I probably played like 40 games of Mundo, and that's probably an average of like 25, 30 minutes a game. Okay, I'm at 14,000.
There's a 3 million mastery Lissandra. Like, we looked it up. She was in the top 1% of like Lissandras and playtime and all this kind of stuff.
And stuck in gold.
That's turning mid laner. Yeah, that's turning mid laner. So this Teemo goes mid lane to start with this high elo Teemo strat. About 2 minutes, 15 seconds in, I'm watching, and lo and behold, Lissandra gets a first blood double kill on the Teemo and our mid laner, 1v2. And at that point, it's like, that's when I'm like, Corey, strap in. And he's like, it was about 10 minutes in. Corey's like, you're right, dude. Like, we're so boned. Teemo was so troll. And the worst part is, we won both games. Why is that the worst part?
That's what I was about to ask. Like, dang,
Do
0-2, man. Woof.
I've never been more exhausted.
I thought you were recording. I thought you were like recording it for like what it's like for Mr. Fruit's ranked experience or something like that, or like the average.
I should have recorded that one. Like, I have never had, like, Corey and I had to backpack. Like, literally, it's not even we were down a person. It's like they had an extra person.
Well, exactly. Like, because that's the thing in League. Like, if somebody is like feeding and doing really bad, it's not even a 5v6. It's like a 7v4 almost, like or like 6v4, I guess.
So we won both games, but they went so long, and they're so like,
I was gonna say, in order to win an 0-19 game, you're stretching that out to where you're just level 18s, and hopefully we can win the next team fight.
Yeah, both games went way too long. We did both, and I'm like, I'm going to bed. Like, that was too much.
It sounds like there was one game in Mundo I'm carrying, bro. I'm like, I swear, I'm like, I think I was like 9-1 and like 8 or something like that. I was going ham. Like, there was one point where this is a different game, but I'm Mundo top, right? I'm pushing my lane. What do I see going down bot? They try to take the turret. I got TP up. Let me go save that turret. Let me go save that turret for my bot lane, because I noticed my bot lane is back right now. So the jungler and the AD carry and the support are trying to get the turret. Nah, boom, TP on there. They see it coming, and they still try to bring it down. I'm like, all right. As soon as, and like, I was more so trying to go there to scare them off, you know, like, hey, I'm a giant Mundo. I'm saving the tower. And they stay there. I'm like, I'm ulting right as I get there. So, ult, and I stun, but hey, I go for the support first. Boom. I think it's a Seraphine or whatever. Stun her with my thing, and then I hit her with my E to kill her, and the E puts her in a car, and it hits the other person, slows them. I Q them. It was sick. Got a triple. My team is popping off. I go down, push that wave. I get their turret instead. They FF right after that. Everyone was like, good job, Mundo. And I was like, that's what I needed.
That's
and then the
what I
next
do.
game, I think it was the Alawi game.
And then
I was
got
literally
humbled
like,
with it.
I was like, that's the feeling I'm chasing for, baby. I was like, and then literally in the ban phase, you can go back in the video. I go, I haven't let Mord through once, and I haven't regretted it yet. So I'm gonna ban Mord. And then she picked Alawi, and I was like, this is how the gods are punishing me. And then then it's you go, I arrived just at the best time.
But yeah, I literally
arrive,
get
and I
on it.
was
It's like I see Alawi get picked. I'm like, oh boy.
And it was literally like the game before that. I had like the game of my life, and I was playing like actually decent, and I was like owning the Malphite. I had like over 60 CS on the dude. I was owning. And then the next game, just probably the worst. It was like literally the polar opposites of each other, of my feelings.
I will say, the thing I was most impressed with, you actually placed iron. I didn't think it was possible. I think you're already in bronze. You got placed like super high iron 1.
I told you.
I was like, no.
Yeah, it was like iron 1. I was like, and then like my mods like put like an exclamation rank in the chat like as the thing, and I was like, don't do that. I was like,
delete that. We don't.
I was like, I was like, that doesn't need to be on there. I was like,
but I think you're already bronze, so
yeah,
you're already out.
Bronze 4. So catch me in the bronze 4 ranks if you don't know something really weird though.
What?
I get recognized a lot.
Oh.
Like in way more video games than like normal. Like,
well, you want to know why?
Let me hear it.
And everyone listening is going to hate it because they're getting called out. It's because most of our viewers are low elo players who are always the guys commenting like, "This is so cringe, dude. I would 98% of you are would."
And then they queue
7.
into me.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Whoa, crazy to see you." Yeah, you nerds. So you'll notice once you start climbing, you'll be like, "I'm not getting recognized anymore." Yeah, I wonder why.
Because you don't get recognized.
No, not really.
No.
Very good.
I liked. By the way, your leak video was really awesome. I learned a lot that I didn't know. You know what's funny? One of the games I bought a pink ward, because I know you get mad at me for not buying pink ward ever.
Or using your wards.
20 minutes after buying it, I realized I hadn't used it yet.
Because
I was trying to buy an item. I was like, fuck, all my slots are taken up. And then I saw my ward and I sold the pink ward.
All right, you're half the way there. You bought it. Now we just
I just didn't use it.
Aye.
And then I'm not buying wards at the beginning of the game because they auto buy them for me. But you say to buy them before every.
Well,
game,
yeah, because you know what I do when I watch you. You constantly have both wards stacked up. You never use them. You don't even remember you have them. If you at least buy it, maybe you're a little more likely to be like, "Oh, right, I should use these."
I never vision that. Like I'll finish a game with like tons of kills, and I'll get like a B, and I'll be like, "How am I getting a B?" Because it takes vision into account as well into your score.
Takes everything. But that's all right. There's many facets to the game. You'll get there.
But I'm enjoying it. It's fun. There was one game we were playing with Glitchy, bro, where I felt so bad. He was playing against Articuno mid. He was Rise, and it's like level 1, right? So it's like kind of like everyone's kind of on the same playing field. First blood. Glitchy's like, "Oh my god," and I'm like, "What happened?" He's like, "I don't know, man." She like
especially against a level 1 Anivia. That's impressive.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, "Oh, it's all right, dude. Like, come back to your lane, you'll be good." Enemy double kill. Got our jungler and sorry, I tried to gank guys. Like, it just didn't work out. Before we know it, it's like 6 minutes of the game. Anivia's like 5-0.
Well, that's the problem some people make is they get behind, then they double down trying to like make a play to get back to even, which sets them further behind.
Yep.
And then they fail to realize how far behind they are. And then that's when I get in trouble as a jungler, because as a jungler, I just say, "I'm not ganking for you, dude. They're going to get a double kill. Like, I'm not that strong and you're super weak.
Yeah.
all we're gonna do is make him even bigger. And so like that's when that jungler's like, okay, I'll try and help. Probably had good intentions if you're able to do it that early.
Yeah.
But like if he's already given 2, maybe 3 kills, they're a couple levels ahead. As a jungler, I just have to go. I'm going to the other lanes. I literally can't. Like I can't do anything. I'm sorry. Like you just have to accept
and then, like,
this.
at
We
the
got
end
to
of the
get
game,
past
the mid
laning
goes
phase.
top diff or jungle.
Oh yeah,
diff.
jungle diff, and it's like
No, there was one game where I was like getting Flamed Horizon, getting owned, and I like, but like I'm getting Flamed Horizon, but top laner's 0 and 0 and 0, and I'm 0 and 0 and 0. So like I'm not feeding them, but
that's about as bad as.
But like and
their laner's essentially like 7 and 0,
and like I know the game is my fault. So I'm just not looking at the chat, and the game ends, and our whole team goes jungle difference, jungle difference, jungle difference.
Yeah,
and then I literally went jungle difference.
Yeah, you're like, yeah,
yeah. I was like Homelander, like, all right, yeah,
yeah, okay,
yeah.
Yep. Life of a jungler.
The league experience is something, but I'm having a decent time with it. But I will say I did duo with Pug yesterday, and we went 2-0. So
nice.
We started climbing a little bit, which was nice. So
you're on your way.
I only played Mundo yesterday though, so I want to maybe incorporate some jungle.
Yeah, where's that husbando?
Yeah, maybe I want to include some Cho'Gath and Set in there. Maybe Cannon, but I heard Cannon's really bad.
And I'm gonna just be honest, mechanically, let's
maybe
stick to some of the others for now. Yeah. Oh, I will say you got to switch to quick cast. You got to do that.
I thought I was on quick cast. All right, let's do that right now. What is quick cast? How do I put that on?
I pulled up.
Because people were like, Rob, why aren't you on quick cast? I was like, I think I am on quick cast. And they're like, no, you're not. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it'll also make it easier to hit cleavers and stuff.
Quick cast just means like I just press Q once, and wherever my cursor is on the screen, it'll go to where my cursor is.
Yeah.
I don't have to like QQ. Like
no. You just click Q. Now there is a setting I'd have to find it where if you hold it, it'll show you the
trajectory.
Because I know, especially playing a new champ or while you're learning, you want to like really make sure you understand it. But those are edge cases.
I more so just use it for the range. Like I just want to know because like I know how far it goes, but like sometimes like.
But yeah, once you.
I think league's down or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't again. We'll do it later.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a big one.
All right, a quick cast. I'll do that because my chat was basically saying the same thing, that it'll help me a lot.
Speaking of MOBAs, Blue, that predecessor video I put up is doing surprisingly
It popped off.
I don't know why.
Did it?
Well, and the worst part too is that most of the new comments, it's hitting weird parts of YouTube. I guess
bots.
I'm just getting trolled.
They're just bots. Don't just ignore them.
It's either people are like somebody was like, you need to. Might I recommend going to a speech therapist? It would make these videos better. Huh?
What the?
But those are the kind of comments I've been getting.
I mean, like this dude's been doing this for years, and you can't even make your wife come. All right,
wow,
but actually, you don't have a wife, by the way, you lonely ass commenter. So shut your fucking mouth.
Got him.
Interesting. It did do really well.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'll try and do another one. See if it does any well. I don't know if it's just like a one-off.
Was this with like Blue or something, or was this?
No, I hadn't even gotten around to editing the stuff with Blue yet. So that's what like the next video is going to be.
I don't remember our game with me. Yo, Rev coming out soon.
It's true.
I will say,
or something.
Hey, I will say, predecessor is 10 times whatever that overprime bullshit we were.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've got a stream of it on Saturday. I'm super excited.
Wow,
okay.
I would love to play some Overprime with you.
Yeah, I'll play with you. I'll play Overprime with you.
That would be cool. But like, being honest, it is. It is. It is. It's fun for what it is. It's like that genre. It's that genre of like, you know, are you not big into laning? Are you not big into the smaller details of MOBAs? Do you just want to blow shit up? Yeah, do you just want to fight? Then that's definitely Overprime is in that territory. And it has that, you know, there's definitely a crowd for that, but I just don't think it's a good game.
When I think the big difference right now, and that's some of the comments I was getting on this video, is like, why do I have to pay for it? People don't realize right now, Predecessor in its early access is pay to play until it goes full release. Then it'll be free to play, and then you get like stuff for buying it now.
Very early like they're not looking for new players. They're looking for, hey, we need feedback so that when we market this, it's a good game.
Well, so that's why right now, Paragon the Overprime's free. Oh, I can play this. Oh, this is better.
There's just not a lot to do in Pred, which is where Overprime has that big gap in like content, is because there's a lot to do. There's a lot to progress.
Bigger roster right now.
Different show. Yeah, very big roster.
And so, I mean, playing it, I like both. I prefer Predecessor because it's more mobile-like, and the core gameplay loop is tighter. Even in its current state with balance and stuff, my problem with Paragon, and apparently the devs have talked about this too, is like just the entire balancing as a whole right now is way off, because like snowballing is insane.
Yes.
It like once it devolves into team fights, whoever's slightly ahead will win that fight, and then from then on out, like you're just gonna lose.
Only team fights.
Yeah. But I like it. That's the one thing, is it's a good game, but the fact that understandably they're getting compared so close to each other because they're both coming from Paragon.
They're definitely very different games for sure.
But they're very different, and I think it's what you're trying to get out of it. Like me, I like the more MOBA aspect. I like that loop more, so I like Predecessor more, and that's why people have talked about like Paragon the Overprime is more of like a hero shooter kind of game.
Yeah.
With MOBA aspects.
100%.
Which the problem right now too is people just don't understand that nuance. And just like that, just like Predecessor, like they're spending no money on marketing right now because again, it's super early access. They're like, hey, when we get closer to that, we'll do that. But so for right now, there's also nothing out there that's clearly like, hey, this is so. But at the very least, cool to see that one video do well. I'd uploaded it because I was like, well, people like League, so I don't know, just some MOBA content over there. I have no idea.
Nice.
I do want to do a video of League player tries Dota for the first time.
Oh,
ooh, that'd be cool.
I'll come in and try it out. I'm a League player now.
Yeah, me too. I will say, I mean, I've like played a game or two of Dota over the past like 10 years, and all I remember is being so lost because I remember someone saying, "All right, you take this item, you go and chop down trees." So like, imagine in League, you're going around the map, but then you actually destroy the trees on the map to like heal or something, and then they like don't grow back either.
Oh, so it's like a healing mechanic?
Yeah, it's like some whole thing. And I was
it's like
so
that little
lost.
fruit in the river where like you kind of hit it and it drops you like maybe.
But it's like the actual tree, like the map. And so I was lost. Yeah, I'm like, wait, so what am I?
Well, and like that character doesn't really chop wood well. You probably want to take the lumberjack character because
that's when I was. That's all I remember.
Well, and that's the other thing. Like, I don't understand. Like, are the champions based off of like Valve games? Or are they all like OC? Like, or like
OCs?
They're very generic on purpose. Like they are OC.
Because it all came from a Warcraft 3 mod. Way back in the day, that was called Defenders of the Ancients. And then Valve turned it into officially Dota, just like they did with what was their team fight tactics thing essentially? What was it? Underlords or something, right?
Under something.
Yeah. So same kind of thing. A lot of these things spawn from like mods. And they're like, oh wait, this is cool. That's what that started. And then the funny thing is, then Riot goes the next step, takes whatever they developed from a mod. So you have modders. Valve takes that, makes the game, and then Riot takes the game they made from the mod and then makes it better or different. In the case of like TFT, like it's not like Underlords is dead. In the way of League, I mean, obviously League won that battle, but Dota's still big. But it's just funny, like that's then what they do. Which is also why, again, I'm optimistic for the MMO, because Riot has proven
they're the best at taking ideas from everybody.
Yeah, they're good at taking existing ideas and improving. They don't need to reinvent the wheel. That's not what they do. but they can take a thing and make it more approachable and more playable.
See, they see a square wheel and they go, let's make that circle.
No, not even that far. It's just like, let's make that a sharper square. And they do. And they do it well so far. That's the thing is I'm worried too. This feels like Renaissance Blizzard right now, where it's like, how could this go wrong? And now look at Blizzard now.
Ryan can do no wrong in terms of like making games and stuff, of course.
So it's like, because on the flip side, we have Ubisoft.
Ubisoft in their flop era, bro. What is happening?
Ubisoft.
I mean, they've always kind of been that.
That is not true. 10 years ago, Ubisoft was hot, and then they started that Watchdog arc.
I feel like the Watchdog is kind of where it was at its top.
And
Watchdog is when it
10 years ago.
They were high off of they had made a bunch of good games. They were high off of the Assassin's Creed series, being
Far Cry 3 as well.
Far Cry 3. Like they were so consistently good for a couple years there. And so people were like, yo, Ubisoft is in that upper echelon of developers. And then it was that Watchdog trailer, and people were like, oh my god, Ubisoft stocks are high. Ubisoft stocks haunt. And then Watch Dogs came out and people were like, wow, what
hold up.
What happened here? And then that just kept happening with their games. What happened here? What happened here?
They stopped innovating. Like the problem was after Far Cry 3 and Far Cry success, they're like, what if we make every game Far Cry? It's just different skins. And even for me, sometimes that worked, and then it just got old.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, I can't. And then they had some good hits here and there. But the weird thing is, I know they're struggling because like it recently came out that Ubisoft nixed 3 other projects that have been in the works among like the 2 or 3 others they did last year.
Among Us.
Which also, Lord only knows also how much money that is. But then, comically, delayed Skull and Bones for the 7th time, I believe.
For the 8th time.
Which is that pirate game that, 7 years ago or whatever I was excited for. And people are like, I finally made a tweet. I'm like, at this point, this is a joke. And someone's like, why do we keep saying, like, telling devs that, like, make the game better, but then we get mad at them when they take more time? Because this is not them taking more time.
It's 7 years, man.
Yeah, this is the 7th delay, which, by the way, is the 2nd delay since revealing the game after it disappeared for 3 years or whatever. When it came back, looked no different. Nothing changed. So this isn't like, they're taking time to make this better. No, this is like Ubisoft is on fire right now. And for whatever reason, because if I'm Ubisoft, I'm surprised they're not just like, push it live tomorrow, whatever. We'll stop bleeding money. It's done. I'm surprised that's not what they're doing. There has to be something to it. And the only reason I think it's not just going to get delayed inevitably and eventually get canceled
as well.
Much
money into it, like
money, and apparently they also took government money from Singapore a while back for like crowdfunding or whatever, and so legally they have to release this game. That's the only reason. So aside from that, Ubisoft's shares and stocks just from last year were already down like 40%, I think. Then
like it's like when you burn food. Like you don't just like at some point the food's burned. Like there's no saving it.
Well, and the bizarre part is then the CEO comes out or whatever. One of the heads up is like comes out and does sends out an email to all the workers, whatever, which is essentially saying like, hey, you guys have been screwing it up. You need to work harder. This year's a big year for us.
He hits Elon Musk. It's not the workers.
Wait,
it's not me. It's the workers.
It's the work. Yeah. And it's like, I don't think it's. I feel like the devs are probably trying hard, and I don't think this is the amount of a dumpster fire right now is not from incompetent devs. It's from incompetent management and higher ups. Like, what is going on here? Not to mention, also, we look at Ubisoft, who just tries to chase everything like the Battle Royale with their whatever that thing was called, hyper something. I don't know. The NFTs, they were the first to be like, we're doubling down and we're getting in NFTs, and they started like Ubisoft Crystal or whatever for that.
Do you guys want me to read you a quote from Ubisoft CEO about this? It's pretty funny. It says Ubisoft has had a rough time lately. Skull and Bones got delayed again, and the company canceled 3 unannounced projects, and its share price has taken a hell of a bruising. But CEO and co-founder Yavis Guillemont knows just who's responsible it is. In an email seen by Kotaku, Guillemont tells his Ubisoft staff that the ball is in your court to deliver this lineup on time and at the expected level of quality. After the company's delays, he had weighed in and said he weighed in our costs and decreased our associated revenues. Guillemont told staff that he needed their full energy and commitment in order to make sure that Ubisoft gets back on the path to success.
So tone deaf.
It's so the issue that always arises is we made a lot of money this year. We need to make more. Forgetting the reason why they made a lot of money. The reason they made a lot of money is because they made really good games. Guys, why did we make so much money 10 years ago? It must be our business model. No, your games have just been just vapid. Just completely vapid. Nobody wants to buy them.
Well,
And I don't know.
Go for it. Sorry.
No, it's just I don't know. Some companies have gotten to the art of like, hey, how do we make more revenue, but also don't forget why people like our games?
Aren't they also only on Ubisoft launchers too?
Yep.
No. Well, not anymore. Like, for instance, Division 2 came out to Steam yesterday.
Right. Keep forgetting about Steam.
And it doesn't launch Uplay, apparently.
Oh, that's nice.
But most of them. Like, I think that's part of it, too.
Uplay, it pisses me off.
Dude, if it's a Uplay game and I have to log into Uplay, I'm like, I don't. Stop playing this game.
I just don't.
Yeah. It's like, all right, well, let me find out what my Uplay password is.
Or it's like the Uno game. We were going to record Uno a while ago. I have Uno. I own Uno. Oh, it launches Uplay. It says I don't own Uno. It's like I can't play Uno. I literally can't because of Uplay. And I can't. I've tried like different accounts. Like Uplay's just like Uno's stuck, and that's just like why. And what I was gonna say is that's like part of the Ubisoft thing now. It's just like that. Like 10 years ago, I might see a trailer and it starts with Ubisoft. I'm like, oh, okay. Like what are they cooking? And now it starts with Ubisoft, and I'm like, okay, like turn off or like, what is this gonna be? Not in like a, oh, I'm excited. More like a, yikers.
What's like the best Ubisoft game of the past 2 years?
Whatever Assassin's
For
Creed
them,
game.
Valhalla. Well, that's the thing is Valhalla is actually the best-selling Assassin's Creed game, which is also strange that they're struggling so much because I think that's the point to greed. Like they made a lot of money with Valhalla, and yet still somehow they're tanking because they're I don't know what they're doing. But I think at least performance-wise, it's Valhalla because I think they like released Just Dance recently. It didn't do as well as they were hoping.
Mario Rabbids or whatever.
They released Mario Rabbids, didn't do as well as they were hoping.
Rocksmith, nobody plays that.
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed's Origins. Oh, Roller Champions.
Oh, what happened to that game?
I think it's dead. The idea was fun. I think we made a video on it, I think.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. Well, and then, it wasn't even Ubisoft. It disappeared for like 2 years or whatever. The game just disappeared. And then it came back. Ubisoft bought it. Somehow the game was worse. And then it released. And I'm like, because I remember Matt, for whatever reason, was huge into it. He's like, dude, we got to play this all the time. I'm like, this is garbage, man. I'm glad you're having fun, but I ain't playing. And then within like 2 weeks, I think they're shutting the servers down, actually. I think they're actually shutting the game down. It hasn't even been like half a year. I just can't. I feel like that as a whole. Anyway, I was actually thinking about this. Even though I don't play most of them, I got to give it to Nintendo because I feel like they're one of the last, and I mean they're a console as a whole, but a lot of the Nintendo developers are the last people who are just making games that are games. Release it as a game, and that's what it is.
And it stays 60.
It's a
their
box
business
price.
Approach has always been we make money selling the hardware and the games sell the hardware. which is very different to like Sony and Xbox, which is like the games have to sell because we lose money on the hardware.
Well, and then the developers like Ubisoft, but other people have gotten to the point too where the game now simply serves as a way to make microtransactions to get more money out of people. Like the game just needs to be serviceable. It's not even let's make a good game. It's let's make a serviceable game that we can monetize heavily.
Yeah.
Whereas Nintendo, to their credit, mainly like the Japanese developers, obviously Nintendo's a whole, but most of them are still like this Fire Emblem game coming out. Look at that. It's just going to be Fire Emblem. And it's a box price and you're going to get your game. Whereas, I mean, of course, we can go into the whole thing like Pokemon. Like, sure, okay, you make a box game, but then like, what is this? But that's a different story. At the very least, though, it's not predatory in nature of like, just like that, like Ubisoft stopping to think like, hey, why did people like the games? And why did they make money? Because they were good games. But now they're like, well, how do we make more money from the games? Who cares about the rest? And I feel like that's the plague taking over most of the gaming industry, which is like God of War Ragnarok. When that came out, it was not like, it's a good game. I bought it. I'm done with it. That was it. I didn't feel like I was getting taken advantage of either at any point or felt like I was missing out on something. It's just a complete experience. And I feel like that's just like indie games are carrying the video game industry as far as I'm concerned right now. Like between indies and double A's, I feel like they're the beacon of hope for me right now because I feel like triple A's have just been dropping the ball so often. And there was like the whole news story too. Like if a triple A game studio wants to work on a new project right now, it'll be done not on the PS6. It'll be ready for the generation after that. Because that's also how large in scope and expensive. And that's the thing is like, I also feel like they're making games bigger, but not better necessarily. Like, that sounds cool. And wow, you put all this time and money into it, but is it going to make it a better game? I feel like we need to like just reel it back a little bit. Because
get back to the roots.
It's getting unsustainable anyway. And then that's why indie games, granted, depending on it, I mean, it's still like dev cycles are still a lot longer, but they can iterate and improve or like work on things that are trending in the industry better or like read it a little bit better. Because I mean, that's the tough part too, is you're like, hey, let's start a game now. This sounds cool. It's going to be done in 9 years, 10 years though. So it's like, how are you supposed to know what the gaming ecosystem is going to look like in 9, 10 years anyway? So like that's also tough from a development standpoint.
Yeah,
we're in a weird place.
We pretty much only have like one Q&A question today. We do have some we could go back on, but we are kind of cutting it close to the time. So we'll just do this one and then we'll kind of have a longer one next week. Milo V3 says, as a person who isn't American, I'm curious what the general vibe of Colorado is given. It doesn't show up in as many movies or TV shows compared to some other states.
Well, as a non-Coloradian, what's the resident of Colorado called?
Colorado. I don't know.
Coloradian.
Coloradian.
There's like major like cities that are like and states that are like, whoa, like what a crazy, like this place is crazy or this place has this. Colorado, like most places that are known for their like their nature, their views, it's not like as talked about because
let's keep it that way. Stay away.
Because there's not like a lot. I mean, y'all are. I mean, it's pretty expensive in Colorado.
These past couple years,
I think it's like top 5 in the country now.
Yeah, stop.
Like,
go away.
But yeah, it's the general consensus in Colorado is, wow, that place is so pretty, and that's about it. And also, for some reason, it was like, why is this random place in what should be like the boomer belt is super liberal for some reason?
Yeah.
So,
It's always
a massive anomaly.
when we moved here, it was like a swing state, and it was like either red or blue. But then, like as like time went on, it was just more like liberal thinking. I don't know why you don't see it in a lot of movies and stuff. Back when I was studying film and stuff like that, it was actually a really big topic on how the state of Colorado could get back into movies and stuff like that. But I think it's like we charge too much or something like that to kind of like, if you like want to film in Colorado, like it's so much cheaper to go film in like places like Atlanta or Los Angeles because people are there and stuff like
It's also
that.
very mountainous, and I feel like mountainous is about as like view as it gets in Colorado.
There are some shows like I think Ozark takes place in like Colorado Springs or something like that.
something, yeah.
Ooh, that is a good show.
Dumb and Dumber, of course, is a movie always everybody thinks about because that's in Aspen. But like Aspen is totally like different from a normal Colorado type of thing.
Pretty much all the mountain cities are.
Yeah. Because that when I was studying film in school, like that was like a really big like topic was like why Colorado back in the day, like during like the Westerns and stuff like that, they used Colorado a lot for like Western movies and stuff. Because that's what I really like about Colorado. It's like you want to go to the city, Denver's an hour that way. You want to be lost in the mountains, drive an hour that way. You want to go and fucking shave sheep and go herd cattle, drive an hour that way. Like I think it's basically has everything for everybody. That's what I like about it.
I think the main thing is one, the reason you don't see it too is also because the way most media is made anyways, just to not only dramatize or dramatize, whatever the fudge, make more dramatic, but also stereotype places. Like that's why when you ask foreigners to draw the map of like USA, it's like California's giant, Texas is giant.
Yeah.
We've heard about Florida, New York, and I guess there's other things. It's just mainly the way most stories are told. It's like maybe people be like, I've heard of Chicago. Chicago's in there. But for the most part, it stays coasts for a lot of things.
Coastal areas.
And I mean, you can stereotype it because also part of it too is like, okay, well, let's say it's like a drug related show. All right, it's either like New Mexico, Arizona, or Texas.
Yeah.
If it's any sort of cop drama or something, it's probably like LA or Chicago, which are a lot of shows. And you can just like pinpoint them all around that. So for like super broad things that aren't specific stories that are like super dependent on a specific location, you have all those places, which also that's part of it too, is they have the infrastructure for it now at this point too, and there's an entire industry there. Yeah. California does it all the time, so it's also you have access to more things, which is also sort of Georgia, for instance. They have their whole film thing. Part of the reason too is when you film at Georgia and stuff, same thing with like California. You also have the ability to have a decent amount of different sets. Like you could look like you're in a completely different place. Colorado, you're Western. And the thing too nowadays as well, if you're shooting Westerns, it's almost always like Utah. Maybe somewhere in Colorado, but like there also just aren't many Westerns anymore. Those are that. So like you just have all these generalized things. They go to certain places. Westerns as well, probably Texas. It's like one of the two. Depends on which ones they're going for. Like Cowboys is usually a little more like Utah, but can still be Texas. We should have the same amount of infrastructure as well for like to support a bigger thing that's not like a one-off here and there. It's mainly the thing of it. That and just stereotype. Like same thing. If someone here is like, we're gonna make a TV show, we're gonna put it in the France. What are they gonna do? They're gonna make it'll be in Paris. There's other places in France, but generalizing people like, oh, I know Paris. Okay, same thing. They're not gonna be like, well, we're gonna do some little chateau and some,
Apparently, we also offer one of the worst tax incentives for people to film movies here. So like,
Like
we don't
George's
offer.
is really good, I believe, which is why
Yeah.
so many people.
They also offer some of the worst foods you could imagine. Because man, is Colorado ass for food unless you have a chain.
The Peach State handed out $800 million in tax credits, while Colorado's budget was $750,000. Like,
it's not an export for us.
yeah, we'll put those tax dollars to something else, like roads and shit.
Because that's the thing too, is like we
God
have like
knows they're working on roads all the time here.
thing is we have like Denver, but if they're gonna do a city, we'll just go to Chicago or we'll go to LA or we'll go to New York. So, I mean that's mainly why.
See,
It's also why like you hardly hear about Wyoming, Nebraska, the Dakotas.
Oh,
like
that's right.
there's tons of states that, again, it's like those couple I mentioned, and then the rest of the U.S. that just isn't really.
Okay. Fun fact here. I didn't know this. The Prestige. Some of that was filmed in Colorado.
Some of them.
And then I remember this. The last like big movie that was in Colorado was The Hateful Eight.
Oh yeah.
Because of that barn. That barn's, I think, in Telluride, somewhere around there.
Good movie.
It's a great movie. But that'll do it for the GG Over Easy podcast, episode 165. Appreciate you guys all listening and hanging out. Sorry, I've kind of fumbled the bag on finding guests. I've been playing League all day, and then I'm like, fuck, I have a podcast tomorrow. What are the chances I find somebody who is in the gaming space that wants to film a podcast at 8 a.m? I'm not going to ask anybody that.
So the main thing is like on a 6-hour notice.
Yeah. So let me I'll try and get one next week. But appreciate you guys all listening and hanging out today with us. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We'll see you next week for 166. Peace out.
Deuces.